back to my channel. My name is Stacey Flowers and I'm a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University and on a journey to become 100% debt free. My current debt is nearly $200,000. I'm on baby step number 2 to repay all of my debts. My income is right around $6,000 and I work for myself part-time. In this video, I'm going to be going over my December grocery haul. So if you are interested in that, please keep watching. I still have a head of garlic because I didn't use it. I still have one of my spaghetti squash and I have one of my red onions. Then here in my seasonings drawer, my aunt just got me a bunch of seasonings. So I pretty much have every seasoning that I could want to cook with except for coriander. So I'm going to pick up a little bit of coriander and then I will point out like what I have left. So red beans, black beans, I literally didn't have to prepare those this month because I just had all that food plus other food from brand partnerships and stuff. My pistachios are going down. I did enjoy the multicolored popcorn. I do also like the color and things like that, so that's kind of fun to just have different color. It looks very fall Christmassy to me as well. Popcorn is down, and then I didn't have very many oats again because I wasn't eating much of the regular food that I eat on. A couple other items that are new. This is honey, and I also got a lemon ginger tea and a bedtime caramel tea. A subscriber sent me, I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but they were, one specifically said get some honey, then the other one, I mean inside of it, get some honey and then whatever else you want. And the other things that I really wanted were some teas. This isn't my favorite ginger tea, so I'm actually going to get a different ginger tea because there was a little bit of money left in that budget. And then I have honey, a little bit of pink Himalayan, my almonds, a little bit of my essence left. And then if we go to the second shelf, you can see some of the things that my aunt, she got me these seasonings, this French seasoning, Tuscan seasoning, Moroccan seasoning, and Shanghai seasoning. Also got a garlic salt grinder. Then this is quinoa, and behind that it's a little bit of brown rice, which I don't eat very often. My aunt also got me this paprika with lemon and lime spice blend. Then I have my Justin's peanut butter. I have about half that left. And then my aunt also got me a large thing of coconut oil. So those are the additions to the pantry, and everything at the tippity top is still the same. Then we come over to my freezer. In the freezer I have, this is the bones that was left over from the turkey. I'm going to eventually turn this into a turkey broth. This is additional meat that was left over from the turkey that I knew I just wasn't going to be eating within the window of like leaving it in the refrigerator. And then here we have veggie broth, and a little bit more veggie broth. And then I still have one piece of the salmon left over from last month's grocery haul. Then we come down to my refrigerator. I have one jar of turkey, and I'm actually going to cook this tonight. I think I'm going to make a little spaghetti squash turkey combination of sorts, but there's nothing in my refrigerator either, and a lot of that just has to do with the level of generosity in terms of the variety of the food that I was able to eat this month, both here and when I went back home. So that is what is in my pantry and cupboard, or that is what's in my cupboards. Oh, also forgot about this. My aunt bought me this super large container of salt as well. So I will not be needing any pink Himalayan salt for quite some time. So that's what's in my cupboards. That's what's in the refrigerator. Now I'm going to make my grocery list. Also, something really cool. Oops, uh-oh. Okay, I probably should lay that down. Something really cool is a subscriber sent me a collapsible cart. So we will use this on this month's grocery haul. Okay, so made it to the store. I'm in a part of the store I don't usually go to because I'm only going to one store. Let me see if I can get you guys some light. I'm only going to go to one store because it's like 4:30, but it's like super dark and much colder. So I'm hoping that I can find everything that I want here. We shall see. So turns out I absolutely can get everything that I want here, but it's gonna cost me a little bit extra for the convenience, which I'm totally fine to pay that just because it's cold and it's not late, but it looks late. I'm thinking about some hummus. I'm thinking about some hummus. I'm really thinking about some hummus. So I was definitely thinking about getting spaghetti squash, but their spaghetti squash are huge, and a lot of that just has to do with the fact that they're in season. So I may pass on the spaghetti squash just because, again, when I prepared, I like to know what I'm going to eat it for. But I am getting butternut squash, and butternut squash goes amazingly well with sage. So I'm going to get a little bit of sage because now I feel like a chef, because you guys know I learned some things from Home Chef. So we'll get a couple of things of sage. I have no idea how the price point on sage because I've never purchased it from the store, but we'll get two and see what we wind up with at the register. Then I need to get my spinach and kale. I may get a beet and spiralize it to spice things up a bit. Look at these Brussels sprouts. What? Who made this a Brussels sprout? What is this Brussels sprout doing? Is that not the biggest Brussels sprout you've ever seen in your life? Like, what's happening? Like, what's going on? I'm definitely getting these massive Brussels sprouts. I mean, they were on the list. It's not just because it's huge, but good googly moogly. Like, that's as big as my hand. All right, first spinach. Spinach, spinach, spinach. Uh-oh, the spinach is not looking too... What is this? This is clearly not spinach. Oh, this is watercress? I was gonna say, whoa. I wanted to point something out because people always ask me why I rinse/wash my veggies, and it is because of this right here. This isn't bad, this is just dirt, but that doesn't make the spinach bad. It just makes the spinach dirty, and it's not dirty because it's a bad store. It's dirty because it's a vegetable. Most of the vegetables come out of dirt in some way, shape, or form, whether they're hanging from a tree or you're pulling them out of the ground. And so the idea is you want to rinse that stuff off before you eat it. And it also gets dirty when it's in transit, right? It doesn't grow up in the supermarket. It grows up outside, and then they put it in boxes, and then they put it on a truck, and then they do all of these things. So I rinse my veggies so that way I make sure that I'm eating only veggie and not all the chemicals and dirt that got on it in between the time that it came from the earth is going to my belly. So that's why I rinse my vegetables. Okay, so we are back from the grocery store, and it really doesn't look like I got a lot out. Although while I was in the grocery store, in my mind I was like, ooh, I'm gonna splurge because I have such a big budget. And now that I'm looking at everything, I did not splurge at all. And I think it's truly because of the habit. I'm so used to clearing out my cupboards before I purchase anything else that, like, I in general don't want to be wasteful. I genuinely have created a habit of not being able to purchase food that I don't think that I'm going to be able to consume within the month. And so there's not a lot here, and I didn't spend a lot of all the budget that I had. I still have the $26 left over from last month and the $50 that I normally plan for this month, and I did not spend anywhere close to that. But I also didn't want to get food just for the sake of getting food. I wanted to make sure that I was going to consume it this month. So maybe some of my grocery budget will go towards when I'm actually in my hometown, because that's the other thing. This is a holiday month, and for Christmas, it's just different. It's just a different month, and that's just something that I just have to realize, is that for me, anytime I'm in the middle of like a transition, it just takes me a little bit to orientate myself. And I think as I am preparing to complete 2018 and preparing for 2019 and thinking through some of the things that will be on my vision next year, that's impacting definitely my grocery budget, but it's also just impacting the way that I'm thinking about food and any adjustments that I may make in the coming months. So I just think it was just a little bit more going on this month, and with respect to me going to my hometown, me transitioning into 2019, and me just having a really huge budget to grocery shop with this month. Like, I don't know like what I'm gonna, and then my cupboard still being full. So it was just, I was just like, I don't know what to get. So I got the stuff that I wanted to get. Okay, so first thing that's not normally in my grocery budget are these grapes. I do like grapes, but you don't You've never seen me purchase grapes because I don't typically eat seedless fruits. I don't eat fruit that can't reproduce because then I know that it was genetically modified to not be able to produce fruit, and that doesn't always agree with my digestion. So typically I do not eat seedless grapes. I didn't notice that these were seedless until I got them home, so I definitely will eat these and not waste. But just understand that normally I wouldn't have gotten seedless grapes, but I did get grapes this time. I also got blackberries, and I intentionally thought about the fruit to just give me a little bit of variety in the morning for breakfast. And speaking of variety, I got my regular almond milk that I normally get, and then I also got a dark chocolate almond milk, and I just thought that that would be something a little bit more fun and interesting and flavor, you know, during the holidays, you know, the chocolate and whatnot. So those are kind of to spice up my morning. Then I got 2 small butternut squashes and a little bit of sage, because I recently learned through my home chef partnership that sage is how you kick up the flavor of butternut squash. And so I got those. Then I got like a handful of green beans. I also got a handful of Brussels sprouts, and these are massive Brussels sprouts. I've literally never seen a Brussels sprout this large. And I also got a red pepper because I'm going to try to make a very specific salad that calls for red pepper. My big splurge, in addition to the fruit, was supposed to be the hummus. My favorite hummus is roasted garlic hummus. I can't wait to get a food processor because I'm going to be making hummus like crazy. But in the interim, I did purchase a little bit of hummus, and then I got 10 sweet potatoes. And I talked to you guys, I got the sweet potatoes that were more like the size of my hand because I find that it's way easier to cook them and consume them without having to have them cook for a long time or just having leftovers. Then I also got my bunch of kale that I normally get. And then I got a bunch of spinach that I normally get as well. And then I got tortilla chips for my hummus. And this particular style of tortilla chips is a gluten-free, non-GMO corn chip. I'm not gluten-free, but I do find that a lot of times in order to get gluten-free items, in order to get non-GMO items, they also have a tendency to be gluten-free. So that is the grocery haul. It is very, very pared down. The only other thing that I anticipate going to the store to get tomorrow is olive oil, and that'll be right around $6.59. So I'm going to include that in my overall total just because I know that that's how much my olive oil is. And then that's it. So I'm gonna get this put away and also prepare for dinner because it is right around 6 o'clock and you guys get to watch me. So here we go. So that is all I have for the December grocery haul. I'm super excited about this spaghetti squash and green beans and a little sweetened sweet potato. You know what I want? Some chopsticks, because this would be perfect to eat with chopsticks. It would be fun. Talk to you guys very soon. Bye. Okay, so I realized after I went to the grocery store, I didn't show you guys what things looked like in the refrigerator. So you can see my green beans back there. I'm gonna move this down. You can see the grapes and some of the pre-cut veggies, the almond milk, the chocolate almond milk, the hummus, spinach. This is gonna go with Home Chef. I'm gonna point that out to you guys too in a second here. My kale is back there, the blackberries, the little bit of spaghetti squash that was left over, my red pepper. So you guys see that. I also have my hummus in here. This is a fail because I should have read the label, and because it has soybean oil in here, and it is destroying my stomach. Like, I was not feeling very well, which is the reason why this video didn't go up immediately, because I ate this and it has a ton of soy and it was like trying to move a brick. These seedless grapes, also another fail. At first I thought it was the grapes that was like upsetting my stomach, but it's probably the combination. So going to be getting rid of that. The other thing too that I knew, like, even though I was trying to like ball out at the grocery store this month, I knew that I was going to get a fairly large Home Chef order. So I wanted to make room for that because I really don't want to be wasteful. And you guys can't really tell, but let me just move this stuff up here. Oh, I forgot my Brussels sprouts are back there. But this is a Texas, a steak and Texas toast Home Chef order. So I'm actually going to be making that today. That's why I have those steaks out. Then I have a flatbread. Then I have a flatbread and prosciutto Home Chef order. And then I have a salmon and cauliflower Home Chef order. And then I have jerk steak taco Home Chef order. So I knew that those were coming as well, which totally impact the overall groceries that I buy. But this is like a ton of food for me in general for the month. I'm gonna eat it, everything except for this and those grapes, because those are just ripping my stomach apart. But I did want to show you guys, this is what the refrigerator looks like, and then in the freezer, this is what the freezer looks like, which we didn't really add very much, but this is some of the this is the steak from the Home Chef order, and then this is some of the salmon from the Home Chef order. But you guys can see that, like, I need to wrap my mind around, like, maybe possibly a new grocery haul slash shop, because having more money is awesome, but I realized I just got a little bit careless in my attempt to try to spend it, and I purchased something that's just not good for my digestion. So there you go. And then my pantry for the most part still looks the same. My oats, my popcorn, pistachios, honey, my multicolored popcorn, beans, a little bit of essence, and then my second shelf is up as well with some of my seasonings, and then the top shelf, which I rarely spend things off that shelf. But overall, the cupboard looks the same. Last thing, I have my two butternut squash here. And then down here in the drawer, I have all of my sweet potatoes, which I think what I'm going to do is get like a box, or not a box, but a basket and a basket, so that way I can store just whatever root vegetables I have and